Dave, thank you. One of my proudest achievements is that I vote in every election, so all of you feel free to emulate that behavior. Welcome to Merrimack, gentlemen. And as Dave said, we would like to start with the opening statements. And without further ado, we'll go right to Senator Rubens for an opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you for putting this on. This is wonderful. This is the first, I think this is the first formal debate. It's too bad you all can't be here. That has changed today. As you'll see in the newspaper tomorrow, 2 more debates have been agreed to by Senator Brown. I'm running for U.S. Senate, seek to replace Jeanne Shaheen, rubber stamp of President Obama, because the country's, and most of you in the audience here don't need rehearsal on this, our country's in very difficult circumstances right now. In my view, as difficult as we've seen since World War II or the Great Depression. 3 huge problems that I won't go into in detail here in the opening. Our country is bankrupt, number 1, financially. Number 2, our economy doesn't work for many Americans right now. It's been stuck here for years despite the onslaught of deficits and debt and printed money. And the government has become overreaching. It's reaching too much into our daily lives. It's telling us what doctors and hospitals and medicines we can use. It's spying on our emails. All of these things are problems. To fix this, we're going to have to elect a Republican to replace Jeanne Shaheen. The same thing will have to happen in other states too. I believe Americans are ready for this change, but to get there, to win this election, we're going to have to win the primary. We're going to have a candidate to win the primary who can debate Jeanne Shaheen and take her on all the issues she's wrong. And we're going to have to show the American people and the New Hampshire voters how we can fix problems. We've got to come at this thing as I did when I ran for state senate. I ran for state senate in 1994, never held office before. I've lived here in the state for 40 years. I started 10 plus small businesses. I understand small business, hiring, bookkeeping, almost all of them in New Hampshire. And I ran for state senate. I defeated the sitting Senate president as a result of this. Bold new solutions to problems. I campaigned on charter schools. I campaigned on electricity competition. I campaigned on SB2 voting, which allows more people to vote in the privacy of a voting booth on their town and school district elections. And I got those things done. How did I win in a liberal district on new ideas? People like these ideas because they solve problems. We have charter schools right now, and I can get into this a bit later in the debate, and it's improving people's lives. More freedom, choice for parents, no union, better schools, lower cost. The top testing school in the state is the Academy of Science and Design, a charter school in Nashville. Top testing in the state. Every student has calculus by the time they come out of 12th grade, and it's a third in cost per student. This is the kind of solution we need to fix our nation's problems. We've got these problems identified, and I won't have time in this opening statement to get into them, but that's the approach I'm taking in this campaign. That's how we can win the primary. That's how I'll win the primary, and it's how we can defeat Jeanne Shaheen in the general and bring independent voters back, and bring young voters back, and bring women back to our party, and unite our party. We can't kick any part of our party out if we're going to win. We've got to do all those things. And thank you very much for your time and for that opening statement.
What does the California condor and have in common with Scott Brown? They're both endangered species, but now looks like we're getting into the fray here. The bottom line is, it's in order to have a debate on the issues, you've got to have the candidates, with all due respect. And the voters need to look at the candidates, see them in action, and find out just how they tick, how they answer the questions, and what they do. But before I get started, I just want to thank Karen Testerman, who's here tonight, for one of the most heroic, I think, acts in politics in a long, long time, not only in New Hampshire, but in history, for agreeing to, for the good of the order, to unite the conservative cause, to join me in this campaign. Karen, I can't thank you enough for that. The point is here, we're staking out the ground that this is a unification of the conservatives. I think as the debates unfold, and as you see all of the candidates together, you will see that I am the conservative, the true conservative in this race, in spite of what other in things you might hear. Let me just, in a 2-minute opening, you don't have much time, let me just say this. America, when you think of Ronald Reagan, we don't have problems. We have challenges. We rise to meet the challenges. It's not about tinkering with something. It's not about going in and messing around with numbers. It's rising up and saying, enough is enough. We're going to deal with these challenges. That's why we scaled the cliffs of Dover, the cliffs of Normandy, and why we took the Nazis and drove them drove them back to Berlin where they belong. It's why we survived the Depression. It's why we went to the moon. It's who we are. as Americans. So they're not problems, they're challenges, and I'm ready to rise up to meet those challenges, because when we do, and if we do, we will then be the generation that saved America, which is what I want to be remembered as, not the generation that lost it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. And now on to the questions.
GrokTV.